Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Turn Zero. We spent the last month going deep on our players' armies during the Turn Zero lists, which you can find in the Legion 99 feed of your favorite podcast player. Now, we're bringing it all together, simulating round one at a store tournament. But before we pair up our players and kick off the Turn Zeros, let's take a look at the map our players are going to be using. This month's map is brought to us by our gifted map maker, Nick. Nick, what do you got for us?
Hey, everybody. So this is a 3D printed map. Most of it is Corvus Games terrain. Getting ready for ACO, so getting as many maps together as I can. So this is basically like an Imperial research facility. It's got a giant laser turret in the corner there. A lot of buildings, a lot of some really good like fire lanes. I bet a force user would really like this. A whole lot. But yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right. Our
You're
pairings are in. Oh, dude, I think we started to lose Nick a little bit. But we're going to keep pressing on because our pairings are in, and our first matchup is the CIS with 2 droidekas, Maul, and a T-Series against the Rebels with Lando, Luke, and the Wookiees. Separatists at 785 are winning the bid. Josh, I know I don't even need to ask. Will you be taking blue or red player?
I'm taking blue. Built this list to take blue. Why pass it?
That's right. This is always our most dramatic question of any Turn Zero episode. All right. Talk to me about the table edge choice here.
It's like I'm playing on a fairly even table, which I don't like. I think I'm going to choose. That just means Nick did a good job. I think I'm going to choose bottom, only because if you look at about 7 o'clock, that terrain piece that's I don't know, extending up through range 2.5. It seems like that provides a lot of line of sight blocking, and if I deploy in that bottom right corner, as a lot of the objectives force me to do, I think it's going to give me a lot of protection to get in closer. So there's not a lot of good firing lanes into that. A lot of good firing lanes into the center once I reach it. So yeah, we're taking bottom.
Makes sense. All right. That will put the droids on the bottom of this map, the Rebels with Rich on the top. And with that, we're going to draw some battle cards out. And the battle deck flips as along the top, we've got hostage exchange, key positions, and recover the supplies in the number 3 spot. For conditions, fortified positions, limited visibility, and war weary. And finally, our deployments, rollout, hemmed in, and long march. Blue pair, taking a look at this, looking at this matchup, what do you think your best outcome is here for objective condition deployment?
I think so. I'm really happy that both recover and long march are on the back, but because that way Lando can't sneak in, or I don't have to force an early engagement with Maul and Operative Luke. And I'm happy that hostage exchange is in the beginning. So pretty much anything but a combination of those 3, I'm pretty happy for.
Awesome. All right, Rich, red player, you're looking at this matchup. And these battle decks, what's your best outcome here?
This is rough. This is rough. I think my best outcome is that we're on hemmed in, with some combination of key positions, or limited fizz.
Makes sense. Awesome.
I don't really think these cards are very good. Looking at them, no.
You starting to wish you went for that 16-point bid now?
Yeah, I missed it by 11. I thought this was a friendly tournament. My bad.
Hey, I have
here. Awesome. All right, let's get to it. Blue gets the first pick. Josh, what are you doing? You eliminating or you passing?
Yeah, I'm getting rid of hostage exchange. I don't really want to see Rich jump in there with Op Luke and then you serve your master well. His unit just 4 inches closer. So yeah, we're not doing that.
You don't think You don't think Maul's going to stand up to Op Luke right in the center with the hostage?
I think Luke is probably the worst Jedi for Maul to see.
That's fair. That's fair. All right. Going into the second round, we've got key positions, fortified or rollout. Rich, what are you thinking?
I'm gonna hit up fortified for now.
Okay. Bringing us to key positions and limited visibility. Makes sense. Josh, back to you. Key positions, limited visibility, and rollout are on the table. Are you vetoing any of those?
Yeah, So I don't necessarily want to give Rich hemmed in, but he's going to have to go that way anyway.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably better at recover the supplies than I am. So limited visibility, ironically, is actually better for him here than it is for me. Even though he has a lot of he has more range than I do. I have a lot more units that don't really care about getting shot at range. So I don't really want his Wookiees to get in close. Or Operative Luke to get in close without a fight. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and cut limited viz here and go for War Weary. Maybe the suppression will stop him.
Makes sense. All right, Rich, you're set. You're locked into War Weary. You can choose key positions or recover, or rollout or hemmed in. What are you thinking for this last veto?
So just looking at the map itself, there are some good positions that recover would allow. But keeping the board narrow like that does not serve the Rebels really well. We want to spread out, and I want R2 to be able to score. So I'm gonna pop in to hemmed in, and hopefully have a nice clear lane to scoot R2 in and be able to spread out a little as well.
Makes sense. We talked about it during your list building episode. R2 is the real hero of this list. So
always
making that final veto choice based off of that. And there we have it, a settled game state. The blue faction is going to be trying to overcome red with key positions, War Weary and hemmed in. Starting off real close into the fight, not a ton of safe infiltration areas for Maul. Josh, on a scale of Trooper to Emperor, what do you think your difficulty for this game is?
I think on any other table, I would say it's probably Trooper, but unfortunately, because we have a lot of line of sight blocking terrain, and he has Wookiees and Luke, I'm going to upgrade this to Commander, about to get promotion to General. So, because I think it can go south really quickly for me. So I have a little bit of concern with it.
Makes sense, Rich. That's not bad for making a blue player CAS list with this kind of a bid. And your initial thoughts on this this battle deck layout, getting up to a little bit harder difficulty. What are your thoughts on the same scale for your game?
I'm edging from General close to Emperor. Okay. There are a lot of threats in his list that you're talking about, from the battle droid, the B2 battle droids with the Hot Trooper, the droidekas. That's a lot of things that have to die, or at least be whittled down. And I really only have 4 units to do that. The D20s need to be able to do a lot, and so do the Wookiees and Luke. But you can't ignore Maul, and that's a lot. That's a lot to deal with.
Absolutely. Great. Rest of the panel, Tony and Nick, what are your thoughts on this matchup right now?
I think that Rich has paths to victory here. Like Josh said, the table layout is really favorable to things like Luke and Wookiees, but Josh has those similar types of units with the B2s. B2s are less, obviously they're less mobile, but they hit really hard and they're hard to bring down. And then Maul over there. So I think that there's a path to victory for both of them, but I really like Operative Luke, so I'm going to lean toward the Rebels here.
Awesome.
Take it,
Makes
Rich.
Sense. All right. Tony, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'd probably echo that a little bit. I think the Wookiees and Luke on that map, they're going to have very good approaches there. They're going to be able to get in amongst them without really getting too much incoming fire on them if he plays it right. So I think the droids are going to have a tough hill to climb there.
Awesome. Well, you know what? That's a great matchup. Great decisions. I love the commentary. Love the insights. This is gonna be a fun matchup. You know what? We're gonna take a short break, and we'll be back with our Imperial and Gar pairing for the Battle of the Laminate Army. Talk to you in just a second. The presenting sponsor of Turn Zero is 6UP Supply. 6UP makes gaming products that bring a deeper sense of immersion to your tabletop. From premium mine tokens to silhouettes to turn counters, check them out at 6UP Supply or Etsy to be among the first to get their latest product, illuminated supply crates. Now back to the show. All right, and welcome back for our second matchup of the month on Turn Zero. Our first matchup was the Rebels and the CIS, which means now it's time for Imperials versus Gar. Basically, the army that no one wants to play against versus the army that everyone wants to play against. And the Imperials won the bid. Tony, with that magical bid, are you going to take blue or red?
I'll be taking blue, thank you.
Okay. I probably should just take that question out.
Next time we have
All
on
right.
the cast.
That's right. Yeah, we're gonna go find a guest who's Tim was a big red player at all costs guy, right? Make him take a bid winning list. Yeah. All right. Enough about the guests that aren't here. We're gonna focus on this one. Tony, looking at this map with your army against that Gar army, what are you thinking for table edge?
So I'm liking the look of the top edge actually there. I know that was the opposite of what they just took in the last matchup. The reason I like that a lot is like I said, I'm liking to stretch the board lengthways there. And if I stretch it lengthways, you got those two platforms that sort of center in. It creates a nice cone there. It's going to allow my bikes and Boba to get up very, very close before he can do anything about it or see them. I also don't love that height 2 on the right-hand side. That would make it hard for my bikes to get around that. So coming out the other side with the height 2s right at the back there is going to get it out of the way, and I can just stay in behind those height 1s. Then if I'm looking at battle lines, I've also got a nice flat there with terrain to cover the bikes and Boba for a long time there.
I like it. So you're taking the top?
Yes, please.
All right. Imperials are taking the top, taking on the Republic on this fun map. And with that, let's reveal some battle cards. We are looking at Bombing Run in first position, Sabotage the Moisture Evaporators, and Breakthrough in the number 3 spot. Conditions of Fortified Positions, Hostile Environment and Clear Conditions. And finally, starting with Rollout, Middle of Long March, and finishing with Major Offensive. Interesting spread. I know some of your most favorite objectives and cards are in the front end, Tony. But what are you thinking your best outcome is out of this layout if Nick completely punts it for you?
Well, obviously I don't hate anything there. Probably the VAPS is the weakest thing for me there. I'm going to make sure he doesn't get that either way. So everything else looks okay for me. And on that table, I'm feeling pretty good with the cover I've got for my bikes and Boba coming in.
Nice. So you're pretty happy with anything except for VAPS?
Yeah.
I'll buy it. Cool. Nick, what do you think your best outcome in this battle deck is?
I probably don't mind playing VAPS over Breakthrough or Bombing Run, to be perfectly honest with you.
Sure.
Everything in the conditions, that's all fine. I can play that. And I probably, Rollout's probably the worst one, but it's not, the terrain, it's not super. I don't mind it.
All right.
Yeah, I'm being very vague about it.
All right. Well, now that we were just pretending to have isolation booths, we're going to get into the turn zero. So, Blue, Tony, you've got the first pick. What are you going to veto or pass first?
Yeah, I'm in, like I said, I'm in a tricky position here because obviously Bombing Run's the one I want to leave. But at this point, if I don't hit it now, I'm going to get stuck on VAPS, and he's going to make me stick to VAPS. So I've got to hit that Bombing Run off there.
All right, bombing run with the future setup. That makes a ton of sense to me. Kicking over to Nick, you're faced with Vaps right now, fortified and rollout. What are you gonna eliminate? You gonna just make it easy for him and get rid of Vaps?
No. So like, assuming I don't know that he just said that, I
Right.
assume that he's not going to play Vaps here and he's going to eliminate to breakthrough. So
That's
I
fair.
basically control the rest of this turn 0, which is
Mhm.
good. Again, fortified positions, it's fine. I'm probably going to kick that because I don't really want to give him more cover.
Okay.
I don't care. I don't need it.
Yep.
I got surge tokens, right? And I'm also probably going to kick rollout too. But
Okay.
I think I'm going to kick fortified positions.
All right.
Because I feel like hostile environment is probably like worse for him. And maybe I can trick him into eliminating hostile environment here for clear conditions.
Make him get a little bit worried right off the bat. Yeah, not
Pretending
bad.
he's
All right.
not in the room right here, in the digital
Of course.
room.
Of course. All right. Back to you, Tony. You've got Vaps. Do you keep pressing on with your original strategy, or has the threat of hostile environment and the other control that Nick has made you rethink it?
No, not at all. I'm going to be pushing to breakthrough. I can keep those
Okay.
clones moving, especially on rollout or long march. He's going to have a lot tougher time than anything else. I think that's probably my best outcome there. Like I said, it was sad that Bombing Run was in first spot, but this is probably my second best one where I'm making those clones run the length of the board.
Makes sense. Okay. All right. So Vaps is out. Nick, you're locked into breakthrough. Are you sticking with hostile or going to clear? Or are you going to make a decision on rollout versus long march?
This is tough because neither rollout nor long march are great for breakthrough. And I know his bikes and Boba Fett obviously have the speed to get to this to get into range 3.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, into the deployment zone by the end. If the bikes leave themselves in a position to ever get shot by the clones, they're gonna get dead. Boba Fett's a little trickier. I have to assume that I'm going to be able to get shots on the way in, but I also know that like if I'm playing Long March, I have to move almost every round at least once. So I'm not in a position where like the last 2 rounds I'm forced into like double moving guys. So I actually think I'm going to leave rollout here.
Okay.
Maybe I can force him into a position where he, misplaces bikes early because he's got this extra bubble here where he can deploy. Sometimes you can I've done it before. You can get a little overzealous with those vehicles with that extra deployment you get.
Yep.
So I think I'm probably better off leaving rollout up there and putting my units as close to this, this bottom corner here, the extended deployment, and just moving diagonally across the board as quickly as possible. While also shooting speeder bikes as they whiz by me. So
gotcha.
I'm going to try with that hostile environment to not let a single trooper except Boba Fett by me, and hopefully I can get more than 2 or 3 units in by the end.
Nice. So total pass on second round.
We're passing. Yeah.
All right. There we have it. We've got a set game of breakthrough, hostile environment, and rollout for our Imperial versus Gar. Tony, on a scale of Trooper to Emperor, what do you think your difficulty for this game is?
Well, I mean, anytime Empire plays clones, it's usually Emperor level. It's always a tough one. I feel like I'm going to make him work for it a little bit on this one. I can split my forces here to have a scoring team and a defensive team. My infantry can really just protect that zone as much as possible and try and keep him out and really make him pay for it as he advances. While I think on that map, on a normal map, I might be in trouble, but on this map, there's a lot of line of sight blocking there that the bikes and Boba, if I play him cagey, should be able to edge up a side there and keep away from him. So probably general, I would say. So let's go general.
Yeah. I think that's fair. I think you definitely you got a really good draw on this. And he was definitely sweating in the turn 0. So getting yourself some pretty good odds here. Nick, same scale. How steep is your uphill battle here?
I think I'm around general too. Maybe just commander.
Okay.
It's close. Like he said, these Rex Gunlines are really strong. Backed up by all these surge tokens.
Oh,
However, this is a
Womp
this
womp.
is a,
yeah, I don't know. We might have lost Nick here. While we're trying to get Nick back, other panelists, Josh and Rich, what do you think? How do you think this played out?
I think this was the nut draw for Empire. This is kind of what you want to see, a long board with a lot of ways to score as Empire. I think if I was Nick, I probably would have pushed for major offensive. I would have pushed all the way
Okay.
to
Am I
major
back?
offensive.
Yep, we got you back, Nick. We were just having the other panelists chime
sure.
in while we lost you for a second. So, Rich, go ahead and finish your thought, and then we'll circle back with Nick.
So I think if I was Nick, I probably would have pushed towards major offensive.
Okay.
I think major offensive gives you a little bit more leeway in terms of space that you have to move your clones through to be able to get
Gotcha.
to the end zone. And hopefully along the way you can blow up one, maybe two guys, because Tony's going to be a ghost.
Makes sense. Nick, we lost you about after you said it was general or maybe commander at this point.
Oh, sure. Yeah. So I think my difficulty is probably general. I think that this is him getting the breakthrough there was big. But again, like I was able to force the rest of it. I do think major offensive would have been better, but I think hostile environment is enough of a negative for him for me to consider rollout. Like I lose a little bit of flexibility in deployment. But ultimately, like I think I can deploy in that that bottom spot there on the left, and I can still I'm only a little further than I would have been if I deployed in the furthest corner on major offensive. But ultimately, like maybe I can force him into a position where he overextends those speeder bikes, and I can get those speeder bikes. We'll see.
I like it. Josh, your thoughts?
I think one of the highlights here that I really want to point out that Tony did that I think he did excellent, and that a lot of people make the mistake on, is they see, oh, I have speeders, bombing run, first slot, I'm keeping it. But let's be real, Red's not going to let you keep that, and he knew the objective he needed to get to. He knew he needed to go breakthrough, and he cut his best objective, and I think that was very big for him here. That was a really, really smart decision. I think what kind of further helped his cause is, again, I agree with Rich on this with going with major offensive. I think one of the main problems with rollout here is the fact that your Nick is almost starting within range 1, most of his army within range 1 of that board edge, which does extend how far he has to go to score. Now, on the flip side, that means Tony also has to get through that area to score as well, but he does have 2 bikes to score on the top. And he also is going to force engagements in the center. So if Boba needs to, Boba can score a bounty on Rex or the commander, whoever he decides, on his way to scoring at breakthrough. Typically, on a different map, different objectives, I think this is just Tony wins the bid and he should be happy because that's all he's winning. But I think he actually has a good chance at winning this game. So.
Brutal shade at the end there. For,
cruel.
That was cruel. Very fair, though. Very fair.
Yeah. Great insights. I can't fault you too far for that. So
I brought this just in case.
Oh, yeah, it's good to have.
Doesn't have nearly enough salt in it.
Well, it's all been spent. So thank you to our guests, Rich and Tony. You can find them on the Legion Discord. You can find Tony on the Saltcast and 5280, right? Did I get that right?
Correct, 5280.
That the phenomenal local Colorado local group that is all over the place. We're looking forward to getting back out to real tables. Thank you for spending some time with us and going over some great turn zeros. This will be it for this month. Be sure to subscribe to the Legion 99's podcast feed for new Legion Turn Zero lists every single week, and we'll see you back here next month.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.